What's up, everybody? My name is Dell. This is Dell on Movies. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you've been here before, thanks for hanging out with me again. And this is another episode of Watch These Movies, where I just recommend some movies that I don't think have gotten enough shine over the years. And this time, since it's still October when I made the video, when I released the video, I wanted to do all horror movies. So I wanted to do two of these this month. Life kind of got in the way. Didn't get a chance to it, but I did have a chance to do one. So that's what we're going to do today. Normally when I do these, when we're not talking about horror, I start with something tame and then I work my way out to something a little crazier by the time we get to the end of it. So I'm gonna kind of do that again here, and it's also gonna be semi chronological, not exactly, but it's gonna be semi chronological, which means they're mostly in order. But the first movie I want to recommend is a movie I saw first as a kid. I don't know, I must have been 7, 8 years old the first time I saw it and fell in love with it. It's crazy. It's over the top movie. And it's about a killer car. It's not Christine. Christine's a great movie, but I like this movie just as much, if not more. And this movie is simply called The Car. The Car, not to, I'm a guy that doesn't like to really spoil movies, even no matter how old they are, because it's going to be the first time for somebody. But and this one is pretty clear that there's this car is possessed. Let's put it that way. There's no driver. He just shows up in this small town. I believe it's in Texas, and just starts mowing people down. And then we get to the end of it. By then we get to the end of it and see what's really happening with this car. I think it's James Brolin stars in it. Josh Brolin's father. Uh, so and he's trying to figure out. He's like the sheriff in town, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. Why is this vehicle just running people down in the street? And it's a fun time. It's really crazy. It's really over the top. But yeah, The Car is a movie that I highly recommend. The next one is another '70s movie, and I had to get at least one black horror movie in here. And this one's not as well known as some of the others, so this is way before Jordan Peele got into horror. This is even before Tales from the Hood and that kind of stuff. So this one, like I said, was in the '70s, came during the black exploitation era, and this one is called JD's Revenge, and you can hear a little rattling around a little bit, but the disc is not loose, I promise you. But JD's Revenge, it stars Glenn Turman. He starred in one of my all-time favorite movies, Cooley High. He's also, if you're a fan of the Different World TV show, he was in that. And of course, this gentleman is Louis Gossett Jr. I don't think it says Junior on there. No, it doesn't say Junior on there, but Louis Gossett Jr. And a lot of you guys know him from stuff like Iron Eagle and just all kind of stuff from him. But in this movie, it starts off with a 1940s gangster, and he gets killed doing some street stuff. And we fast forward into the '70s, which was present day, of course, back when the movie was made. We fast forward into the '70s, and we meet Glenn Turman's character, and he's just a regular guy, just kind of hanging out. And he goes to a show one night with a hypnotist. There's a hypnotist performing, and he volunteers. And when he gets hypnotized, then all of a sudden the spirit of this '40s gangster named JD just inhabits his body and takes over his body, and then the movie goes over from there. It's kind of campy, it's kind of crazy, but it's a lot of fun. So check out JD's Revenge. The next movie that I'm going to talk about is a lot more recent. This is actually probably the most recent one, so I probably basically lied when I said chronologically. So this movie came out a few years back, and I heard a few rumblings about it. Didn't hear a whole lot about it, but I heard a few rumblings. Heard it was pretty good. And one day I just happened to be in Dollar Tree, looking through the Blu-rays that they got, DVDs and Blu-rays that they got, and it was sitting there. So I grabbed it, brought it home, gave it a watch, and I kind of fell in love with this movie. And it is called The Belko Experiment. And if you've never seen this movie, it's it's a trip. So we have some people in here. It's they're in an office. They're in an office building. They're not basically. They are in an office building in Mexico. It's an American company. They kind of outsource things, and they have a lot of workers that they sent to this place in Mexico. At least I think it's Mexico, if memory serves. It's been a little while since I watched it, and all of a sudden one day the building gets completely locked down, meaning like shields come down outside the building, so no one can actually, you can't just get out the building. And of course all the doors are are covered with these same shields. And then they get a mysterious voice over the PA system and telling them they have a certain amount of time to I think it's to kill people. If I'm again, I'm sorry, it's been a little while since I saw it. And it's basically like it says on the cover here: Office Space meets Battle Royale. So they got to kill a certain number of people, and if they haven't killed a certain number of people, I think it's 30 people within the first hour or 2 hours or something like that, then they're gonna kill more people. They're going to kill as many as it takes to get down to that number. And then after that, they're given another number of people that they have to get killed. So basically trying to get down to the last person. So yes, like a battle royale, Hunger Games type situation. And things get bloody and gory, and it's a crazy movie. It's a lot of fun to watch. If you did like battle royale, definitely check out the Belko Experiment. If you like the Hunger Games, I would say, but you haven't seen Battle Royale, I would say the Hunger Games with a lot more blood and guts in it. Okay, and they're stuck in an office building rather than running around the jungle, and a lot less love story in this movie. So the Belko Experiment is one you guys should definitely check out. The next movie is by a couple of twin sisters. They're Canadian sisters. They got into horror a few years back. The movie most people know them for is a movie called American Mary. So that's not the one I'm going to recommend, even though that's a really good movie. So definitely you should check that one out too. This movie is actually their debut, and it is called Dead Hooker in a Trunk. So the title right away intrigued me, and I actually saw American Mary first before I saw this. And one day I was in FYE, just kind of looking around, and there it was. So I said, "Man, let me snatch this up," because I couldn't find it anywhere else. And the premise of the movie, basically, the two sisters, the Soska sisters is their name. They also star in the movie, and one day they just find a dead hooker in their trunk, literally, like it says in the title. And they trying to decide what to do with this body. And before you know it, police are after them, and gangsters are after them, and all sorts of other people are after them, all for various reasons. So they're like kind of on the run and encountering all kinds of strange people along the way. And yeah, there gets to be a lot of blood and guts in this one too. So it's a lot of fun. So Dead Hooker in the Trunk. I know not a lot of people have heard of it, but if you get a chance, go ahead and watch Dead Hooker in the Trunk. Let me know how you like it. And my last recommendation is a movie that is probably even further out than Dead Hooker in the Trunk. Dead Hooker in the Trunk is a really wild movie. This one is probably even more so. This is a Japanese movie. It's directed by I think it's Shin Sen. I'm butchering his name, of course. Let me take a look at Shin Sono. I'm sorry. The movie is called Cold Fish. So the story of Cold Fish, and looking at this area of the movie, of the cover right here, this is actually a fish store. Okay, so it's an exotic fish store. So the plot is that we meet a teenage girl, and she is in this exotic fish store, and it's like the biggest one in the area. It's making lots of money and all that kind of thing, and she gets caught stealing from it. Of course, the owners, they decide to, they let her parents know. Her parents also happen to own an exotic fish store, just one that's not nearly as successful, a smaller one. So they have a get together with the owners of the store, and they're gracious enough to, they'll let it slide. Basically, she has to work off her debt, more or less. So she has to work for the bigger exotic fish store, which is run by a married couple. Both these stores are run by a married couple. One, her parents, and this other one. And they decide that, okay, yeah, she can work for us for X amount of time. And the thing is, though, she's also got to live here, so she's working all the time. And her parents are kind of okay with this, because she's a troubled girl, especially her dad. Her dad's kind of really okay with this, because maybe this will teach her some discipline or something. And what then starts happening is she finds out, that the people that she's now living with they are far worse than she is. They get into some really strange stuff. Actually, you know what? I will spoil this part of it. They're serial killers. They're their husband and wife tag team serial killers, and then it's just a straight bonkers ride from there. And there's one particular scene again, and I know I just said I don't want to spoil things, but if you are not into gore, if you don't like gore, stay far away from this movie. There's one murder in there's one kill in here where somebody just literally gets stabbed to death with a ballpoint pen, and you kind of have to see it to believe it. But again, if you're not into gore, then stay away from this movie. But Cold Fish is just a crazy Japanese horror movie, supposedly based on a true story. I don't know, how much of it is true and how much of it is, fiction, but it is an entertaining ride. So that's all I have for you. That's 5 recommendations. If you've seen any of these movies, let me know. Let me know what you think about them. If you go take me up on my suggestion and watch any of them, come back and let me know how you like them. If you have any to suggest for me, let me know because I'm always open to watch, especially horror, but I'm always open to watch anything. And I'd love to hear what you guys think of these movies. For now, that's really all I have for you. Like, comment, subscribe down below, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.